All of us are living this life where we are like grinding away at this system, giving everything that we absolutely have. And we have people who are making more money than has ever been seen in all of humanity. And it's not enough. It's not enough for them. Jeff Bezos is worth $100 billion. And, you know, that's not enough. Republicans feel like they need to give him more. They need to give him more. And more specifically, they feel like he should have. It's like the wealthier you get, the less responsibility you have to the American society. Period. The less responsibility you have to the society from which you derive your wealth. I wish I could drive this home to 100 million people to realize that there is no Walmart without us. There is no Amazon without us. There's no Facebook, there's no Twitter, there's nothing without the masses. This wealth is derived from the masses, and this Republican tax bill is saying that we can take wealth from the masses and have no responsibility to helping the masses that we're draining the last goddamn cent from. I mean, literally, just take it on a micro analysis, your personal bank account. A lot of you who I'm talking to right now, you're in the overdraft. Because payday is Friday and today is Tuesday. If you're not in the overdraft, you're somewhere around, you know, you're holding on by a thin razor edge, like living on the edge like never before. Yeah, there's some people who listen to me who are doing good. Great, congratulations. Glad you're doing good. You're doing finance or you're doing something, computer engineering. Those are industries that pay well. They pay you well enough. I was thinking about this today. They pay you well enough to never want to change the system. Never. You know, you're not Jeff Bezos rich, and you're going to be paying some serious taxes because you're being targeted here. $75,000 a year, you know, you're going to be taxed too in 2023 when these taxes go up. But I digress. But most of the people listening to me, working class, lower middle class people, you're living on the literal edge where if you have 32 cents in your bank account, you have entities there waiting to take that 32 cents. And while they're taking your last dime, they are telling you in this legislation from the Republican Party that they want nothing to do with the society surrounding you. If you get sick, they do not care. It's not their responsibility. It's not their responsibility. If you become homeless or you can't afford your rent, they don't care. They got what they needed from you. I mean, these corporations are literally like pimps getting everything they can possibly get from you and leaving you there just to die. I mean, this is like, they're not connecting these dots. The Democratic Party is not connecting these dots because they're terrified of this type of rhetoric. They're terrified of being seen as people waging class warfare, right? But in the meantime, we are engaged in a class warfare being waged on poor people and lower middle class people by the wealthiest people in the world, but in America and in the world, by this tax legislation from the Republican Party. And if the Democratic Party is not going to, Bernie Sanders too, who's an independent, right? I think Bernie Sanders is missing the boat because he's stuck with some talking points, the same talking points. If Bernie Sanders is not going to go all the way in and talk about the fact that most Americans, there is an entire industry that the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, tried to fight back against, but now the Republican Party is gutting that. There's an entire industry that's designed to make money off of your overdraft fees. I mean, it's the banking industry, but there's an entire business schema that's set up because they know they can't make money. Have I told you guys this story? I don't think I have. I remember somewhere about, I probably did, but I'm going to tell you again. This is perfect way to just demonstrate what I'm talking about. Somewhere about 2000, I don't know, 2006, 2000, somewhere in there when I was like teaching and not really making a whole lot of money. I'm not making a whole lot of money now. But anyway, I was teaching miserable and still not making a lot of money. And so it never failed. Every 2 weeks, by the time payday came around, I was in the overdraft for about $200. And then, boom. That set a chain of events in motion so that guaranteed that by the next pay cycle, I was in the overdraft by $200. Majority overdraft fees. With Bank of America, call them out. Bank of America. And so I started analyzing the hell out of my statements. I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. How the hell am I still in the overdraft? And I'm like watching all of my money, and I'm looking at the bank account. I get my bank statement before I go buy anything, and I get my balance on my mobile device or at the ATM at the time, and make sure I had the money that I could go do this. And it never failed. And then I started organizing my statements and purchases and receipts. I started lining up my receipts with what my statement said. And you could look at the time of the day, and even sometimes the day of the damn week when I made purchases. Bank of America was notorious at rearranging. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. They would rearrange your purchases so that the biggest item would come out first, no matter when you paid it, so that at the end, when you're out of money, that's $5 Starbucks or that $2 McDonald's or that whatever 50-cent something, you end up paying $40 for those things because of a $35 overdraft. I want to make sure that you're hearing this game, because I don't know if you listening specifically went through this, but there was a class action lawsuit around this. And I wasn't part of the lawsuit, but I was, because I knew I went directly to the bank and made threats about I'm going to go to the Senate Finance Committee. Blah, blah, blah. I made a lot of grandiose threats, but I got my money back. I got a lot of my money back. And when most people who signed up for the class action lawsuit, I think they got like $25 back. I think I ended up getting like $400 back over time, because I'm like, F that. I peep your game. But let me explain one more time. Let's say you get paid on Friday. And Friday, what you do is you go out, or you go to McDonald's, because that's all the shit you can afford. And you spend $5 there, and you spend $10 on a movie on Friday. Monday, you pay your rent, right? Bank of America was notorious for saying, that doesn't matter. We're going to rearrange this. Your rent that you paid on Monday, we're going to back that up to Friday. And that Starbucks and that McDonald's that you got on Friday, we're going to put that after your rent. So that now your rent takes care, boom, you're in the overdraft because of your rent. And now you pay $60 or $70 in overdraft fees for those two little items. There was a class action lawsuit around this. And so when I caught wind of it, and I mapped out everything, and I went to the bank, and I said, why do you do this? Why do you, and I asked the teller, not a teller, I asked one of the managers of the bank. I said, why do you rearrange these things so that they cause the maximum amount of damage in overdraft fees? And you know what that woman told me? I lied not to you, swear, as I'm standing here in this blue sweater. She said, because we have to make money off of you somehow. We have to make money off of you somehow. And then everything start clicking. Banks only really make money when they can actually loan out your money. If they can't really loan out your money and get interest on your money, how do they make money off of the rest of us? Well, those of us who never have enough money to leave in a bank and actually put in the savings, let alone a money market account or a CD, those of us who never have any of those types of things, they can't really make money off of us. And so what do? They hit you with overdraft fees. $35 a pop. Pop. An entire business model created to make money off of people who don't have the money already. That's how we, and this went on for years. And the reason I'm telling you this is for twofold. Number one, they are designed, this entire system, these people, the corporations, the wealthiest people in America, by proxy of their organization, of their corporations, they are designed to make billions of dollars in profits off of all of us who are living on the edge. They literally are perfectly okay with you never putting money in a money market account, because it's actually probably quicker and easier for them to just get that $35 overdraft fee for that Starbucks, $35 overdraft fee for that $4.99 meal at McDonald's, a $35 overdraft fee for all these little things, and that just stacks up. And I know at least 20%, maybe 50% of my audience knows exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And those same people want zero responsibility to this society from which they drain their wealth. We're literally economic zombies. You and I, average Americans, we are economic zombies, and we're just here. We're just here working all damn day long, and we have nothing to show for it. They're just taking every penny from us all day long, every single day. We can't gain capital. What's capital to the proletariat? It's savings. Most of us couldn't survive a $500 emergency. And here we are, just going through life just like a zombie, just dragging our body and just going through the motion, and just, we're sharecroppers. We're all sharecroppers. This is not even a racial connotation this time. This is every middle class, lower middle class, and working class American. We're sharecroppers, where we're simply working. We're in a feudal system already. We're working just to give every penny that we make to someone else. And now they're saying we don't even want a commitment to the roads that you go to work on. We don't even want a commitment to the infrastructure. We don't even want a commitment to your education. We don't care. We don't want a commitment to your health. We don't want a commitment to any of those things. We want to take everything from you with zero commitment to America. Or if you're in Ireland, 4%, because we got to be competitive with Ireland, right? We got to be, so maybe 3%. We want a 3% commitment. And then as soon as this is a race to the bottom. As soon as we get to a 3% commitment here, well, then Ireland will say, okay, well, we'll give you a 2% corporate tax rate. And then the other thing is where the Democrats put in some stopgap measures and some, to stop the hemorrhaging of, give us some protections against this malicious behavior by corporations, by banks. It by no means reversed or improved. It just kind of stopped the hemorrhaging. Republicans are saying, hell nah, bitch, we got to get that money. And so then now they're gutting the CFPB. A lot of us may not have liked the world that Democrats wanted, but I like the Republican dream for America far less, far less.